Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to a bit of a quick upload today where we're going to be going through my day 1 NASCAR 25 wheel settings guide. Now first of all, I am playing this game on a Fanatec CSL GT DD with the Xbox Universal Hub and then just a random OMP rim that I bought a couple of years ago for it. I'm playing the game on PlayStation 5, but yeah, basically what we're going to do is I'm going to talk through kind of the in-game settings and then my in-wheel settings as well. This is day 1, so I'm still trying to fine-tune stuff. Of course, I'm sure I will update this video in the future, so if you're watching this a few weeks or months or maybe even years later, I'll make sure I leave a link down in the description below to an updated version of this video when I get round to it. Now, to access your wheel settings inside the game, of course, from the main menu, you want to head over to the options screen. Obviously, click on settings, no real surprise there. And there's not actually that many that you can do inside of the game. Of course, obviously, there's lots of settings inside the game, but what we want to be looking for, of course, is the controls page, first of all then. So, as you can see, I'm running 25% steering range inside the game, and 100% force feedback. It just then means my real-life wheel seems to match up pretty well with the in-game wheel. I tried running a few different things, you know, potentially running less lock in my actual physical steering wheel, inside like the Fanatec hub settings and everything like that. But I found what works best is running the actual Fanatec wheel at 100 and then kind of obviously fine-tuning the game to match that, and then of course tweaking everything as well inside the game settings. Now, there aren't actually that many in-game kind of controller settings you can tweak. So all of like the kind of controls inside the game are completely standard. Luckily, just like iRacing, it recognises your wheel pretty well. Everything is kind of sensible as to what you would expect it to be as well. So that kind of works quite nicely. But of course, obviously, you will have to go around and figure out what kind of controls what on your wheel, because the one it shows you inside the game is a little bit peculiar. Taking a look, though, in kind of the in-wheel settings, though, like I said, sensitivity, first of all, then, we are running 1080. Like I said, it just seems to give you the best matchup between, obviously, the in-game steering and IRL. I've already had to make a couple of big saves inside this title as well, so, you know, having that extra steering lock really does help with that. You do kind of have to turn the car in very, very early, though. It feels like inside this game, from the couple of races that I've done, it doesn't handle anything like iRacing, which I think kind of a few of us were expecting it to be like inside of the title as well. Force feedback, though, I've got running at 75. Again, kind of the tracks that I've done so far, they seem to be fairly smooth for the most part, apart from Rockingham. But it's, you know, the game I think kind of has a lot of dampening effect as well. I'm hoping, obviously, when we get the PC version, that there's going to be a bit more kind of fine-tuning to obviously really kind of refine things as well there. Next up, though, is going to be the force feedback scaling, or FFS. I'll use kind of like the in-wheel codes, just because obviously then it eliminates any kind of confusion with that. I've got that running at peak. Just seems to be what works inside the game. I did try and tweak it around a little bit, but I honestly didn't notice any difference at all. So yeah, running peak scaling on that one. Then the damper settings, I am running at 70. Again, didn't really change too much inside the game. It's just kind of what I like to run. So obviously it does smooth out obviously a lot of those bumps as well a little bit more, but seems to work quite nicely. The friction setting I've got running 70 as well. Again, I didn't find it really changed anything. I don't know kind of how well supported kind of the Fanatec stuff is on PlayStation. Obviously, it works straight out of the box, absolutely fine, but I felt like quite a few of these settings didn't tweak around too much. NIN, though, I can't even remember. I think that's natural inertia, if I remember correctly. I've also got that one at 70. Just, yeah, it seems to work. INT, though, up next, though, that is turned off. Did not want to run that inside this game, and yeah, running it on just kind of, sometimes I was getting like a little bit of wheel chatter and things like that, but with these settings it's a smooth experience. You can even run the force feedback a lot higher if you want to, but ultimately I don't think there's much point in doing that, because otherwise you just get horrible feedback from the game. FEI up next then, I've got that set to 100, completely maxed out. I believe that kind of affects like the wheel weight Personally, I quite like a car that you've kind of really got to muscle into a corner. I basically like to go for like the old no power steering config as well. So yeah, that works quite nicely for me. FOR up next, then I've got 110. That, of course, again, is a force feedback setting. So although I like to run quite a lot of smoothness, I like to obviously run the actual force feedback kind of underneath that at quite a high setting as well. I just do that generally through most games. Spring rate then up next I've got set to 100 once more, and then we've got the DPR setting that I've also got to 100. Brake force, of course, this only really matters if you're running like Fanatec, CSL or Elite pedals, everything like that. But I run my brake force at 30, I think, in every single game I ever play, just because it works quite nicely for myself as well there. So I think that is all of them. Yes, it is. Hopefully this video helps you out. I'll make sure I write down in the description below kind of all of my settings. Of course, unfortunately, playing on PlayStation, you can't open up like Fanalab or anything like that to try and make sure it's working. But I would assume that when I jump over to PC, the game will probably handle a little bit differently as well. The only other really annoying bit is that I have to keep having a controller, because for some reason the Fanatec wheel doesn't have triangle on PlayStation. I don't know what button it's meant to be, but I always have to have a controller because you can't skip the opening cutscene without pressing triangle. iRacing, please fix. But yeah, hopefully this video helps you out though. If it does, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed to the channel. As well, if you're interested in picking up Fanatec gear, I may as well mention it. I'll make sure I leave a link down in the description below. If you use that link, you help support us here as well. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. We're going to be back playing more of career mode tomorrow, so make sure you don't miss that either. We had a really good fun race out of Daytona. But yeah, very short video this evening. Hopefully it's helped. If it has, drop a sub, and let me know how you're getting on with NASCAR 25 as well, because I think the game is hilarious fun.